My name is Whitney. It's nice to meet you guys. Thank you for joining today. I've been with Salon Skill for the past 4.5 years, and a lot of my day today is meeting with salon owners. So from solos to commission salon owners, the wide range, and a lot of that is talking about parts plus labor. So we've helped thousands implement this system in their salon, and that's why we started this webinar, is because now after, Salon Skill's been around for about 7 years, and we've been able to see the direct impact that that pricing model has on the salon. So that's why, again, we started this webinar, because this solves a lot of the issues that salons are facing right now. And it really is an easy fix. And if we can just kind of be a little bit more vocal about it, I think we can do a lot of good. We can really help. So that's why we started this webinar today. That's who I am. I also have Casey on the call. She will be monitoring the chat. So any questions that you have, feel free to pop them in the chat. And she can answer them in real time, or we can go over them at the end as well. But let's talk about the agenda for today. So really, I would say this is going to be kind of a broad overview on the why of parts plus labor, why this financial model works, why the traditional model isn't really working, and kind of what it can do for the business. The how is on the other side. So the how is really after sign up. Again, we've helped thousands of salon owners get there. So if you're like, but I want more about like exactly how to do this, know that we will help you one-on-one on the other side of how to actually implement it in your business. We have those resources. But so today, yes, high level, it's just really giving information, like let you know again about this pricing model, how it works, and what it can do for the business. Not to convince you one way or another, just to give you information, what's best for your business. But again, this has been really successful for a lot of salon owners, so I'm excited to talk about it. And before we talk about kind of where we're going, I like to talk about how we got here, which is how Salon Scale was created. It was created by commissioned salon owners. So like what we like to say is not somebody on Wall Street looking to like tap into the salon industry and take advantage of salon owners. No, this was a salon owner who had a real issue in her salon. So yeah, Alicia Soulier, she opened a salon, a commissioned salon. She did really well on paper, right? She did about 1.4 million in revenue year after year, and high-end salon, not cheap, and she still had these issues of the revenue, the profit not matching up to the revenue. So every month she was asking herself, I don't understand where all my money is. How are we bringing in this much money? And I can barely afford payroll. So she really pulled back into her numbers, dove in, and found that she had a leak in her back bar. So, kind of a lot of that color charge as it fluctuates and goes up in price and you're using more and more, it's not making it to the bill. It's all of that, all the profit in the business was being sucked out the back bar. So she created Salon Scale kind of initially just to know those color costs in real time, to just be able to see that. And then when she really sat down and kind of mapped it all out, she came up with parts plus labor for the salon industry specifically, which again, like that can transform a business like that. That will give you the cash flow that you're looking for. That certainly did for her salon. So again, kind of before we can get into where we're going, let's talk about why oftentimes the traditional model isn't working, or why you might be feeling like now more than ever, you're struggling to make a profit, or maybe not even taking home a paycheck. Well, there's a lot of reasons. I could honestly spend the whole time on this side alone. But let's just keep it high level and focus on kind of the top two. When this salon model was created, so, a lot of times it's just you're charging a base price, you're usually including some within that base price and then charging for extra bowls. Well, it was okay to include in because color was cheap and you didn't use that much of it. $4, yeah, sure, throw it in the price. But now, color's the third highest expense in a salon behind rent and payroll. So now you have this third highest expense in the salon. It's variable. You have some clients like me that come in and use a lot of color, and some that still do use a couple dollars worth of color. But we're charging them all kind of the similar way, not accounting for that huge variable. So color's gone way up in price, and you're using a lot more of it now on average per service, and couple that with a thin profit margin. So the way that the salon is set up, it's nothing you did right or wrong. It's just salons have thin profit margins historically. And so when you have a thin profit margin, you need to be absolutely meticulous about every expense, right? Like you can't have this number that can make or break you and include it in the cost and just kind of charge everybody that same way. And that's what's happening right now with color. Is again, it's all over the map and color keeps going up and up and up. And it's not being accounted for in real time. It's a reactive approach. So, okay, last month we didn't charge enough, or our prices need to go up, and it's always reacting. And to again, with that thin profit margin, you want to be a little bit more proactive, and you want to make sure that those costs are accounted for in real time, or you risk not making money on the service. Okay. Again, that was pretty broad, but we'll get into a little bit more now about salon cash flow management issues. What I like to say by this is just kind of a lot of times when I get on, so I do one-on-one demos all day, every day. And most of the time when I meet with salon owners, particularly commission salon owners, and I say, why are we here today? A lot of times they'll say because of the waste. The waste in the salon is our biggest problem. And I understand that. Oftentimes when I hear that though, I think like cash flow, okay, cash flow. We need more cash flow in the salon. And why I say that is because, waste is tangible. Waste is, what you pay for, what you pay for each tube of color, that it keeps going up. And then you see these bowls of color left over in the sink and you're like, this is where all my money's going. This is why I'm struggling to profit. This is why, we're not growing. But the real issue is really much deeper than that because waste is, even if you scrape the bowls and measured it all, it might be a few $100s. But the real opportunity and the real kind of issue in the salon is just, again, the way that that pricing model is set up, not accounting for having a thin profit margin and not accounting for those color costs in real time, which includes waste. So when you get that under control, you'll naturally manage that waste issue too. It won't be an issue anymore because we do have a really nice waste feature. And I always show it on demos because it's usually the salon owner's favorite part of the demo. They love the waste feature. We can help you reduce the waste. After you weigh your bowl, if there's some left, you can reweigh that bowl and you find out what that waste is, the cost, and then the amount. But that money's gone. There's nothing you can do with that number besides stare at it and get angry. That's going to bring more cash flow in. So we need to make sure that even if there's waste, that money's accounted for. Because a lot of times when you switch to parts plus labor, you might not even use a waste feature. Like it's where it's nice is help refining the formulas for next time because it will reduce or it will kind of change that formula around with the waste removed. But again, it's that money's gone. That money's been spent. So how do we make sure that the owner isn't eating the cost of all that? That's not sucking away all the profit. We need to fix the issue at the root, which is the pricing structure. Okay, so that brings us to parts plus labor. Again, you know the name of it if you're here, which is just at its core, it means you just take what you charge for your time, take what the supplies cost you, and those together equal the price to the client. And when you really think about it, it's the way that any other service industry already charges, right? Because they know that parts price in real time already. So they can charge this way. So they already figured out the best model to consistently make profit, especially when prices of the parts vary. And that's charging this way. And now that we have a way to know these parts in real time, you can be proactive about your pricing structure too. You don't have to treat it reactively. You don't have to wait till color goes up and then raise your prices 6 months later. Then you've missed out on that 6 months of profit. It doesn't have to be like that. You can, in real time, know that you're profiting on every single service, and this is the way to do it. And I think that particularly right now, it's even more relevant because there's a lot of uncertainty about what's going to happen with the color charges. I guess we'll kind of see in a month. Nothing might happen, or they might go up 25%. We'll see. But if you don't want to be in this position of like, oh my God, I need to switch my line, or what am I going to do? I need to raise my prices, but how much? How much is it actually going to charge or cost? again, you don't have to be reactive. You can be proactive in by setting yourself up for a pricing model where the color charge, it really doesn't matter. Because as distributors and as color manufacturers, as their prices go up, they pass that increase on to you, right? And so this is a way to just do the same. It's not to be like, hey, we're going to take advantage of you at a really kind of uncertain time. It's a good time to jack up our prices. No, my prices went up by $2, so I'm just going to charge you $2 more. It's a very clear, fair way to both the client and the salon to just make sure the color used during the service is paid for. Okay, a little bit more on that. Like I said, it's the way that service industries have already set up their pricing model. So when we think of them, think of like mechanics, plumbers, even frozen yogurt. When you go to get frozen yogurt, you pay for how much you use, right? How much you put in your cup, because this is a financial model that works. It accounts for the variable, which is the part. And it really, as far as in a commission salon, what it does is really take that color charge off the negotiation table. You can't negotiate, with a stylist and give a percentage on what you have to pay to do the service. And right now, a lot of times those tubes of color are being given, people give commission on them. So if you give a straight 50% commission on the color service, you're including those parts that you have to provide, and that is a big profit suck. It's a leaky bucket in the back bar. And so it parts plus labor is about taking that cost of color off of a commissionable line item. It has to go back to you have to rebuy that color. And so they don't care when you go to rebuy it, they don't care that you gave 50% of it away. They don't care if you discounted it. They don't care if you did it, used it on your mom and you gave it for free. Like when you go to repurchase the color, the money has to be there and you have to pay the price. You're not getting a discount. So it's about making sure that you have the money to keep that color in stock and to repurchase the color. And when you really think about it, it's like the discountable part. If you want to give a discount, that has to be on the time. That has to be, that's where you can negotiate, different commission levels with stylists on their time, what their value is worth. But you can't negotiate it on the cost of goods to do the service. Again, you have to rebuy that color and the money has to be there. And when you think about it, think if your car needed some work and your cousin owned an auto body shop and you took your car in, what would you get the family discount on? Their time, right? They have to charge you the cost of the part. And that's what parts plus labor is about too, just separating the two. You charge for your time, commissionable portion, the cost of color needs to go to the house. Okay, I like to touch on emotional pricing a bit because this, I think, plays a big part into why often the traditional model doesn't work anymore. Because there's salon owners and stylists are often empaths, and it feels good to discount. Or, like me, if somebody asked me my price of something, I panic and discount. Well, they wouldn't be asking if they didn't want it lower. My pricing is right here. They can see it, but they're asking me, so I should discount. And I think it's a really common thing, whether it's, imposter syndrome or whether you want to give a deal, like for whatever reason. But again, when you go back to that thin profit margin, can't discount the color, and extrables are just so easy to not ring on. Or you include 40 grams. Okay, well, are you going to go mix up 40 grams or are you going to mix up what you think you need? What are you actually mixing up that's included with the service? So there's a lot of gray. And when you have a gray pricing structure, it's just easy to be like, oh, yep, that extra bowl's on me. But again, you can't have a gray pricing structure and a thin profit margin. Those two are conflicting. That sets you up for a tricky spot of being able to ensure you're profiting on each service and you could potentially be losing money. So what you want to do, and the best way, in my opinion, to combat emotional pricing, make things black and white. Make it so easy to understand for both the stylist, the salon owner, and the client. This is what I charge for my time. This is what I charge for the product. These combined equal the price to you. And when I say what I charge for my time, that doesn't mean that you have to switch to an hourly pricing model. A lot of people think that with salon scale. You certainly don't. a lot, just keep kind of a base price and add the cost of goods on top. Um, Personally, I do I think that it's important that even if you don't switch to hourly, know the hourly rate too. Come up with your prices as this is what I want to be making per hour, so that if you go over, you know what to charge for your time. It's just, and particularly, if you have a commission salon and you have different levels of stylists, right now, think of it, if somebody comes in for a balayage and you set aside 4 hours, and when you go over that, you're just charging for extra bowls. Well, if you're just charging for extra bowls and you're counting like half of that to pay for the stylist time and you're charging $25 for extra bowl, at that point, like your junior stylists are making the same rate as your senior stylists. If it's just, $25 for extra bowl and you're just getting half. So knowing an hourly rate, like kind of by stylist and by level, is a good way to make sure your stylist time is always accounted for and fairly too. Okay. I want to focus on this salon. So this is a real salon with Salon Scale. This was just 10 months of data. They have 13 stylists. We can see kind of some data here. So you'd see all this in your Salon Scale account. So we did pull this directly from Salon Scale. So they've done 3,700 sessions. Their color cost is between $7 and $250. But I want to focus on this number right here, color revenue. So $130,000 is what they've ran through in color through Salon Scout, which means they pass that on to the client. In the traditional model, in most salons right now, this is an expense in the business. This is something you have to absorb to be able to just absorb and be able to repurchase. In parts plus labor, this is a revenue stream. This is a way to make money. So when I say it's not about the waste, like waste is a couple $100. This is the real opportunity here. This is much bigger than that, and this covers that waste. So I see a lot of salon owners asking other salon owners right now, like, hey, what are you guys doing to bring in extra money? Like, it's slow right now. We need new services, or we need new retail. We need new revenue streams, because there aren't a lot of ways. There aren't a lot of new revenue streams in the current salon model. You just kind of have, like, it is what it is. This is a new revenue stream. And one thing our CEO loves to say is you should never feel guilty about making money off of every aspect of your business. This is a business. This is what everybody else does. So this is you took the risk as a salon owner to set yourself up to have a nice life, right? And a profitable one. This is a huge opportunity in the business to be a revenue stream. Make money off of your color bar. It's something you're already doing. You're already selling it. The clients are already buying it. You can make money off of this, and huge amounts. That's the reality of parts plus labor. This is what it can do for the salon. This $130,000, color pays for itself. It's not an expense in the business. You also have the option to add a margin to it, which most do, which means now you paid for the color and you've actually made money on it. So that's up to you, but I would say this is the reality. Like, focus on this number, because this is what charging parts plus labor with Salon Scale can do for the business, and often does. This is not unheard of. This is not like an edge case. This is consistent with what it does for the salon. Okay, my last two main slides. What's in it for the stylist? What's in it for the client? Or not what's in it for the client? What will the client say? Because I would say these are the two kind of objections. I think that these are what hold a lot of salons back in getting started, is just kind of fear of, how do I get my stylist on board? How do I make sure they like it? And how do I present this to the client so that I don't lose clients? So let's start with the stylist. So I would say that the average, there's another saying our CEO loves to say, which is when the salon owner takes care of the stylist takes care of the clients, and the business takes care of itself. So we want to make sure the stylists are happy. Salon Skill was built with the stylist in mind. We want them to want to use the app. We want them to love it, make their lives easier. So that we're taking care of on our end. We want to make sure, again, they love using the app. But how do you get them to want to start using it? Well, I would say, the average amount of time that a stylist stays with a salon is 4 years, right? Because they cap out of commission typically, so they grow and grow and grow. They learn new education. They get really quick, and they get really educated and in high demand. And then they kind of get capped at how much they make. And then so they start looking around and saying, okay, well, maybe it's time to go independent. I don't want to share my money with you. So how do you keep them? Is being able to offer those higher commission rates and more incentive. And how do you do that? Again, taking that color off the commissionable line item. You don't want to be giving a stylist a 60% plus commission when you're including the cost of goods in there. The salon won't profit on that service if you're giving 65% commission off of every tube of color. So take it out. Make sure that the salon's covered, that the salon's, even if it's a smaller percentage, you're not losing money. You're not paying that stylist to the service by taking the color and the cost of goods off of a commissionable line item, and then you have more room to negotiate. Then you can negotiate that price and their time and their demand. But you can't include that color in there. Again, the profit margin's too thin when you're immediately giving over half away of every dollar that comes in. So you have more opportunity there. And then I would say the second benefit to the stylist, besides things like it's going to save their formulas, it's going to, help, them reduce waste, things like that, is just increase cash flow for the salon. So being that place that's fun to work and having those perks for our clients, the nice coffees, like the treats and stuff like that, the renovations, having that cash flow and being a spot that you can really be proud of to work in. And if you've ever worked, I worked for a God, Casey's probably getting so sick of hearing the story I tell every week, but I worked for a company for 6 years that we were in the red the entire time, like no cash flow. There were no raises for 3 years, no holiday parties, like no bonuses, nothing. Everything was bare bones, and it was always looming over our head that like we were in the red. Like we always thought we were like a minute away from losing our jobs. That's not fun. It is much more enjoyable to work for a place that has the cash flow where you can do those fun things for both like the employees and the clients. So that's a huge benefit too. And then finally, what will the client say? I would say this is probably the number one fear, and I think that a lot of salon owners end up losing a lot of sleep over this and the fear of that. And then when it happens, it's never an issue because we give you that verbiage of exactly what to say, which really boils down to like, this is a fair way to charge, especially right now because there is so much uncertainty. Everybody's heard, tariffs, like, are they going through or are they not? But they know that they're on the table, right? So it might happen. So we can say, okay, this is a way that we're going to set the pricing model up that, it's just fair. You're just going to pay. We don't have to do like a big blanket increase. You just pay for the color used during the service. So, there's a lot of worry about like, okay, what if the color goes up? Well, for some, it might go down. Maybe, if you have clients and you're just charging everybody the average right now, well, somebody that gets like 4 highlights, yeah, they're not going to pay that much in color. But somebody like me, I got a lot of hair. Yeah, pay more. Pay for the amount that I use during the service. It's fair, and it's the way that salons or every other service industry already charges. It's a way that consumers are used to paying. So if you have that verbiage, your whole team's behind it, you guys know what to say, and you feel confident, clients will feel confident too. They'll appreciate that you're not guessing the number, that you're not overcharging them, and you can show them directly on the app, hey, no, this is what your formula cost me. So I'm just going to charge you this on top of what I charge for my time. It's very clear and transparent. Okay. Yeah, I would say that's it. So again, today was a lot about like the why it's a good model and kind of a surface of how it works. But like, how do I do this is, like I said, on the other side. So we have a team, we have the resources, we're here to help you. And the best part is that we offer a free 14-day trial. So if you're not already in trial, what you can do is you can scan this QR code that will take you directly to our trial. There's no credit card required. You don't have to have a scale. You can just start to play around the app and kind of start to see those numbers. And we will check in with you throughout too to make sure you're good and answer any questions that you have. If you're like, no, let's get started today. I'm losing money every day that goes by. I want the real deal. You can head right to our website, salonscale.com, go to pricing, and then you can sign up for one of our true paid plans. Each comes with one free Bluetooth scale, and then we will still help you. Like you will be kind of assigned like a dedicated account rep. That is your person. So you'll have a one-on-one go-to. We won't just be like, hey, good luck, see you never. We will make sure that you get set up okay, you have all the resources, and you and your team feel confident. So that is your next steps. Again, free 14-day trial or sign up for the paid plan, or you can feel free to book in for a one-on-one demo with me as well. You can do that right on our website, or just shoot me an email too. It's just whitney@salonscale.com. And if we don't have any questions, okay, yeah, no questions. So I would say, yeah, we will send everybody a copy of this recording. If you guys have any questions, just respond back to the email. I believe that goes directly to me. But we are excited. Again, thank you so much for joining today. We're excited to see really what Salon Scale can do for your business in 2025.